So welcome. We have a couple of students here. They're going to pretend to be students. I don't know what age they're going to pretend to be. I don't know. Maybe we should say you're in high school. And what I'm going to do now is to walk through these slides as they are in the resource and pretend that I'm sharing it with my students. All right. So students, what do you notice about this building?
Well, we can say that it's made of stone, and that I don't know, the tower, it looks like it was put on later. It looks so different. Trying to figure out where this is. Oh, and there's a cemetery. I don't know where this is.
Oh, that's a lot of good information you got there. You see a cemetery, you see there's a part of the building that looks different. And you're not sure where it is, you said. Anything Joseph has to say about that? Do you have any other insights?
I guess trying to investigate where this might be. I'm seeing that there's some deciduous trees around, and looks like the architecture is sort of, say, European. Certainly looks like English or something like that. So I would guess it's on the East Coast or in Europe. And the grass is green, so it must be probably springtime.
All right. Anything else? Go ahead.
It could be Gothic I'm wondering if it's Gothic architecture. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's something we can look up maybe later on as a class project, the different kinds of architecture.
We'd have to know where it is, though, where this building is, what country, what place.
All right.
Oh, actually, now I think I'm seeing on the left, I'm seeing a clump of snow. So I must be right. It must be spring.
Where do you
clump
see
of snow?
I don't know. I see something white.
Is that this part here?
Yeah,
you're looking at?
maybe.
What do you think that is, Barbara?
It looks like a sculpture.
Okay, could be.
Anything else you notice about the building? You said that it looked like this was built after the tower. You're calling this the tower.
Right, right. Yeah. It looks like it was built afterward.
What kind of building might have a tower like this?
Something political, but
political? Okay.
Yeah, but
like a town hall or something like that? I don't know.
Too small to be a parliament.
Right. Well, something historical. I mean, it certainly has a castle look to it, like a watchtower at the top. So
watchtower. Anything else you notice?
Well, wouldn't you say that it's added? It looks like either they're currently adding or they're doing something to it, because there's scaffolding and there's a guy doing work on it.
There's a guy right here, isn't he, with the hard hat or something on? So he's working on it.
Yeah.
Does it look like a new building or an old building? What sort of building does it look like to you in terms of the age? Can you see down here?
By style, it looks older, but it looks certainly newer than the rest of the structure,
Right. Okay. Well, let's ask one more.
And the roof looks new compared to the other buildings that look like they have shingle or shake, not shake, a slate roof. This is more of a modern roof that looks like that was put on. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's a university. I don't know. Buildings at a university. Oh, but
with the cemetery?
With the cemetery. Well, I had a friend who had an apart, her parents had the apartment that she lived in, the back was the cemetery.
Mhm.
But then again, it could be apartments because I'm looking at the where the cars are parked. There are doors that seem to go into the building. So maybe this is the back side of whatever this is. Maybe this is a
Mm.
church. I'm
Mm.
guessing.
Okay. Okay. So Joseph, what do you think about that? Any other thoughts about what kind of building this is?
Well, I don't rule out that it could be like a college campus and we could be
Mm.
looking at dorms. So I know
Mm.
plenty of campuses that have like historic places and cemeteries even,
Okay.
on campus. So
That's a
that's
great
that's possible.
observation. All right. So what might a news story that features this image be about? If you
I
saw this image and you knew it was illustrating a news story in a newspaper, what would you think that it might be about?
I would say updating the progress on a local building.
Okay, all right, all right. All right, let's continue to the next slide. So I want us to review the following sentences from the news story. So this was from a news story, and I want you for each sentence to decide which parts of the sentence could be factual and which are opinion. Okay, so we're gonna go one by one with some sentences. I don't know if Barbara, would you like to read this first sentence for us?
If you can handle my New York City accent, sure.
Of course, of course.
In the heart of one of Britain's national parks, a village's tranquility is shattered as a centuries-old church tower emerges in a shocking new hue.
So you guys were getting on the right track there. It is a church. There's a church tower. It's centuries old, according to this sentence. And it's in Britain somewhere. And so we have that information now. So let's look at the sentence. Now, each of these sections, you see there's a different color. The first section is in the heart of one of Britain's national parks. So could that be factual or is it opinion? No right or
well,
wrong answers here. What do you think?
well, there's opinion in there, or at least begs the question: what are the facts, such as
Mhm.
the village tranquility is shattered? Well,
Yeah, just this first part first. In the heart
oh,
of
I see.
one of Britain's national parks. Um, is that more or less something that could be factual or is it opinion?
It could be factual. It would be nice if they said which park. I think, you know, so.
And I'd also like to know which part of it they considered the heart. That's probably subjective.
True, I would think, yeah, that part could be subjective, but generally
Yeah,
speaking, I would
it's
say
fact.
that
Yeah.
yeah, if we can determine whether this is really in one of the national parks of Britain,
Right.
because it's an actual building. Okay, the next section is a village's tranquility is shattered.
That's that would be opinion, I
That
would
would be
think.
opinion. Okay, all right. A centuries old church tower.
That's fact.
Yeah.
That's fact. Yeah, I
Gee,
mean
and that's so hard to believe that that tower is so white like that.
Okay, well, we're
Oh,
gonna
oh,
hear more.
well,
We're gonna hear more.
yeah,
Emerges
yeah.
in a shocking new hue.
There's the rest of the sentence that relates to the centuries-old
Yeah.
tower with the hue. Yeah,
So it's a new hue, so it's been repainted or something, right? So
that's so
it
strange.
is that phrase though, is that opinion or fact? It
The,
emerges in a shocking new hue.
the shocking part is opinion.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. Joseph, would you like to read the next section?
Sure. The building has a startling new look after the bell tower at St. Oswald's Church was given a lime wash render to stop water leaking through its ancient brickwork.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So the building has a startling new look. Is that fact or
Opinion,
opinion?
opinion
Opinion.
again.
Okay. You agree, Barbara?
Yes and no, because the the, the other part of the building is fieldstone. So I don't know. It has a new look, but I have to
Mhm.
say I was startled. But that's
Yeah.
it is. So it's a combination.
Okay, that's a good answer. So the next section is after the bell tower at St. Oswald's Church was given a lime wash render. Could that be factual? No, in terms of this, I will say that it doesn't matter if it's actually fact, but if it could be a fact, for instance, I mean, maybe they got the name of the church wrong, but it's something factual that could be verified. For instance, it could be verified that this is a bell tower. It could be verified that it is called St. Oswald's Church, and it could be verified whether or not it was a lime wash render that was given to it. But yeah, so what do you think? Fact or opinion?
Well, certainly potentially factual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And to stop water leaking through its ancient brickwork.
I have to wonder why the tower is the only part that's leaking and the rest of it is not. And of course, it would be nice if there was a picture that we could see the before, the progress, and the after.
Oh,
And then we
cool.
would know, then
That's
we,
a very good observation. We are gonna see a before picture,
oh,
so
and
eventually we're gonna see.
if there was a quote from, say, the minister, or somebody that was in
Awesome.
the church that
Awesome.
was getting wet,
So
what was somebody that works on the building, an architect, an engineer.
awesome. You're thinking ahead, and that's great
I'm
because
sorry.
here we have the village vicar.
Ah,
Reverend Dave Clark now stands accused of bearing false witness. All of these are sentences from
Mhm.
the actual news story, okay, that I've just added in here. And the last one I'll read, it's last summer, Reverend Clark told the Church Times the tower would be, quote, rather a soft honey color in keeping with the newly cleaned masonry of the building. So, uh, so let's do this first. Village Vicar Reverend Dave Clark now stands accused of bearing false witness. That's a difficult one though, but
mm,
fact or opinion,
Potentially fact. I mean,
potentially fact. So someone could have said that you're bearing false witness, and we'll see something else in the actual quotes from people that were interviewed. Um, And so this last part, last summer, Reverend Clark told the Church Times the tower would be rather a soft honey color in keeping with the newly cleaned masonry of the building. And I would say because this is in quotes, we're going to give the journalist the benefit of the doubt and say that they did quote this person accurately. So we're going to say anything that is in quotes is a factual quote that was um, properly recorded. Okay. All right, let's move on. This is the church
oh, look
before.
at that.
mhm.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you notice about this image of the same building?
The tower is made is the same is seen it's the same it's the same you see the same material. It's all one, it's all built. I no, I shouldn't assume that. At the same time, it's the same material as the building, the tower.
Okay, okay.
And I have to
Same color, so it
right,
doesn't
right,
stand out. Yeah.
right. And maybe the material is a little different. What the building itself looks like it's made of fieldstone. Um, but I could be wrong. The tower looks a little different.
It's a different angle, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We were seeing it like this before. Oh,
Mhm.
actually, we were
Turned
totally
around. Yeah.
around because the tower was on this side of the picture.
Okay. So are you more curious now about this building?
I'd love to go there. If somebody would give me a ticket,
Mhm.
I'd be happy to go
Does it
and
look familiar? Do you watch any TV shows, for instance, that
no.
have British architecture in it?
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. I used to watch
Okay.
Downton Abbey a long time ago when television didn't cost money,
Okay.
when it was
So
analog.
I will give you a little bit of information since you've been good students. There's a fairly famous TV show in Britain, certainly, called All Creatures Great and Small. You
Ah,
may
I
have
know.
heard about it.
Yes, I haven't seen
This
it.
is the church and the village where that is filmed.
Okay.
Oh, fascinating.
It's
Fa-
in the Yorkshire Dales National Park.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
too bad there's no creatures.
Yeah.
God,
So it's
that,
pretty famous. So that could be
yeah.
why they wrote an article about it, right?
Yeah,
Because it's a
absolutely.
famous, right?
Absolutely. But I still have to wonder why, if, well, I wonder, they put the limestone wash, but I wonder if at some point they'll figure out a way to make it
Uh-huh,
uniform
uh-huh,
with the
uh-huh.
building.
So look at this. Reverend Clark said the tower would be honey color in keeping with the newly cleaned masonry of the building.
Okay.
So it sounds to me like they're going to clean that masonry to be cleaner looking than it is, and it's going to be a more lighter color
Hmm.
than it is or was here because it's so old, right? This is
Oh,
really
it
old, and
must
this is
be very old.
before.
Oh, gee.
Okay. So
It,
anyway, at the end of this article, we do have a number of comments from Reverend Dave Clark, the vicar of the church. We're going to read them, and I want you to pretend that you are a visitor to the town and you're listening to him speak at a church service. I want you to think about how his words affect your understanding of the situation. Now, these slides are what some of the modular slides that we have for our resource. So if there's limited time or if the students are not advanced students, you may want to leave out this. But if you have students who are, into language arts or are dealing with actually media literacy or journalism or something like that, then this would be a very interesting exercise, I think, to go into the comments from Reverend Clark. So would Barbara, you like to read the
sure.
first one? Thank you.
Reverend Dave, as he's known to his flock, is dismayed at the flack flying his way. He said, to hear and to read Dave Clark is a liar is disappointing, and it is actually upsetting. Some of the things written online about me have been very personal, and that's difficult.
Joseph, with
All
you?
right. However, I have broad shoulders and accept that people feel strongly about the issue and that as the
Vicar.
vicar, yeah,
Mhm.
I am the focal point for that.
All right, I'll read this one. We are not diminishing anyone's distress over this, but I feel there would have been greater distress if the tower had fallen down or if the bells came loose and fell through the floor.
Right.
Barbara?
Reverend Dave said the parish council had been fully involved in the process along with the national park chiefs and said a 10-year process, wow, prior to work beginning garnered advice and guidance of experts from around the world.
Okay. So we've got quite a lot of wonderful quotes here. I think this is a great article in terms of the quotes that they got from Reverend Dave and from other people, which you will see a bit later. So let's continue. Joseph, would you like to do the first one?
Sure. Okay. So he added, we have talked to the Masons, professors, researchers, and have had invaluable help of
Sorry.
it's okay, of the Damp Towers project, which is the longest running architectural preservation project in history. We did everything we could to make the color as sympathetic as possible to the surroundings. The render was mixed with Askrig stone, chosen specifically to tone color.
Huh.
Ooh.
Hmm. Nicola, when was this
Yes.
written, this article? When did this take?
Earlier this year, I think it may have been
Oh,
March.
very current then. Okay.
Yes, it is. With my hand on my heart, I can say it is not white. And when you look at it properly, you can see that. Given time, it will weather and fade down. It's important to note that the church was rendered for 600 years. It's only the last 150 years I have seen it without. The render was removed in the 1850s by the Victorians.
I don't know what render was rendered.
I will let you know about that. Now,
Okay.
rendering, after this slide, I have
I
some
trust
notes on
you.
what rendering
Okay.
is.
It
Would you
is
like to read
that,
the very last
oh,
one, Barbara?
yes, it is bound to be a talking point. As you drive through the dale, it's a case of ta-da-da, there is the tower. But that's what it was always supposed to do. It says, look, here is the house of God.
All right, so we have there a lot of comments from the vicar, and I want you to think about whether your impression of the whole thing has changed after hearing him talk.
There we go.
What do you think?
Well, we gain insight into what was going on. You know, it's not just those people on scaffolds. Um,
Mhm.
and of course, I thought it was white. So I, so,
Okay,
oh,
so the notes on rendering, because we asked about it, and these notes are in the slides in the comment section so that you can use them. It says rendering is a construction technique that involves applying a protective layer to exterior walls. Usually it's composed of cement, sand, and water. This mortar mix creates smooth or textured surfaces on buildings' exterior walls. Although rendering is primarily used for exterior walls, it can also be used for interior walls for a slightly different look, such as a feature wall. Now, why is rendering important? Because it protects against weather elements such as rain, wind, and UV radiation, safeguarding the buildings from structural damage and deterioration. A well-applied render can significantly enhance the longevity of exterior walls by preventing moisture ingress, reducing the risk of cracks, and improving overall structural integrity. So all of that is some information we got from a UK fast building supplies company. So clearly it seems to me that Reverend Dave went to a lot of work, 10 years of research, Damp Towers project. We're assuming that this is fact, that he um, went to them for advice. It's an architectural preservation project. They used Askrig stone, chosen specifically to tone the color. And one thing I want to do is go back and look at the pictures, okay? Let's look again. What do we notice about the picture in terms of the lighting on this picture? Does it look like it was near to nighttime, or was it the daytime? What time of day?
Looks like kind of the same time of day as the other picture.
You
I'm
think
trying to
so?
look at the angle of the sun.
I see this shadow here is giving
Yeah,
us a clue. So it's not like noon, otherwise this shadow would not be
right. So
there.
late afternoon, it kind of looks like, yeah.
Mm. But if you look closely now and sort of look again at this color that's here, is it white or is it maybe closer to a soft honey color? I guess it depends what kind of honey.
Yeah, to me, it looks pretty, I mean, maybe off-white-ish, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
it looks
The,
pretty white.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It looks, yeah, it looks white. But
Mm.
and of course this is not film, but it depends on the camera and again the lighting and
Mhm.
all of that makes a difference in how
True.
the color shows up. And
Mhm.
we're gonna have to, I'm gonna think they didn't touch the color, you know. But
Mhm.
the stone looks lighter in this picture than it does in the other picture. Did they put a filter on the
Yeah,
lens?
this is the render. The render is on it now. If you
Right,
look at these buildings, for instance, though, you see that the color of the stone here is relatively light compared to, say,
right,
even the color down here,
right.
you know?
And yet the old building, the old picture of the original, the color is darker. The
Yeah, yeah.
stone has
So
a dark,
lighting has a lot to do with that. It
right,
may have
right.
even been, I don't know, retouched to look more picturesque, more
It
something.
also could be older and actually taken with film as opposed to
True,
digitally.
right.
Ah, that's a good point as well. Digital is different to analog, as we know. So that's a great point. All right, let's continue and move on. All right, so next we're gonna hear a comment from a village resident. The village population is about 500.
It's little.
It's a very small village. As you read, consider, does this comment change your perspective on the state of the building? So if you were my students, no, I would share this with you probably as a handout and maybe have somebody read it depending on the age of the students. I'm going to read it for you. A fellow villager who lives near the church said, this whole process puts me in mind of the ninth commandment, Exodus 20, verse 16, thou shalt not bear false witness. I'm afraid that's what has happened here. We were told we'd be consulted and we weren't. We were told the render would be the color of honey and it just isn't. The vicar and the diocese have some explaining to do because they've changed the character of a beautiful village.
Hmm.
So this is a fellow villager who lives near the church saying this. And they're being quoted by the journalist. So we're gonna assume that this is actually what they said.
And how was the character of the church changed?
That's a good point. Actually,
And,
it says because they've changed the character of a beautiful village,
oh,
not just the character of the church, character of a beautiful village.
Well, again, there's some subjectivity into that. Like, who's to say if it really changes the character of the village? I mean, that's up for debate. There might be some
Mhm.
people who say, nah, doesn't really change much at all.
and Nicola, did they interview anybody else? I mean, was it just one person's thoughts or, do we get, no, oh,
Let us continue and then we can talk some more about the facts.
oh my
So
goodness, to look like a mask. Oh goodness.
this is the actual headline and image as published. What type of content would you expect to find in the article if you had only read the headline? and seen the picture, maybe.
Well, now there's clearly some other issues injected in here that are, um, from a modern day stance to look like clickbait.
Mm. Mhm. Can you say some more about that, Joseph?
Oh, well, we're the headline containing a quote that makes a religious building look like another religion by
Mhm.
itself is pretty potent.
Mhm. Mhm.
A potent accusation, and then also there could be the issues of one of the current xenophobic headlines that populate a lot of media.
Mhm.
Um, some actually said, and some, you know, uh, exaggerated for
Mhm.
clicks.
Mhm. So what type of content? If this was going to be a more or less factual as could be for these kinds of words like fury, for instance, um, we have the definition of fury here. If you students aren't sure what it means, fury means wild or violent anger in the dictionary. Okay,
Hmm.
and the 600-year-old church, that's not bad. It's centuries old. Yeah, we've said that it is. So that's factual. The church has been transformed. It does look quite different, especially the color. To look like a mosque again. I didn't know before I read this and did some research of my own what mosques actually look like. Do you know what mosques look like? Does it look like a mosque to you? Does it
It
look
does
No,
like a
not.
mosque?
no,
Okay.
no.
And you know what mosques look like?
I think I've been in a mosque.
Yeah.
I've been in a number of other buildings that are not of my religion. I think one of them was a mosque. The other thing I'm wondering about,
Mhm.
this newspaper, Paul
Yes.
Jeeves, what kind of newspaper is it? What is their stance? Are they
Mhm.
conservative newspaper? Are they liberal? Are they factual? Well, they're supposed to be factual. But, where are they coming from? Is it a local
Mhm.
newspaper or is it a
Mhm.
larger, you know, newspaper?
Those are all good questions, and I do have some answers, but I'm not going to reveal them right now. Um, But I want you to think again though. So what kind of content would you expect to find? How would you say that there was fury? What would you expect if there was fury by the residents of this village
Well,
about this church?
they've obviously amped up the drama here,
Uh-huh.
so I would expect some sort of dramatic clash going on.
Like what? Like,
Like, yeah, just like the village is up, like everybody up in arms, and
what would they do if they were up in arms? What would they do that would
well, I
be
mean,
wild
yeah,
or violent?
yeah,
What?
violence does come to
Uh-huh.
mind, but me personally, I wouldn't go there immediately, but some people could.
Okay, so all right, so I'm trying to get more specific now. Would
I wonder,
calling the vicar um a liar, or saying
Mm,
that he what was the phrase that they used? I'm trying to remember what was the phrase that they
remember.
used. Someone said um oh yes, thou shalt not bear false
For
witness.
false witness, yeah.
Would you say that exhibits fury, wild or violent anger, that comment?
They're they're very furious, and I
Mhm.
would wonder if by not going to services, holding service, letting going back to the church
Mhm.
to participate in services, if that would make a statement. You don't
Mm.
have to be literally violent, but by, boycotting.
Okay, okay. So
It's
you're saying that
boycotting.
fury doesn't have to be
No,
literally violent or literally
Right.
wild, but the definition
No.
is wild or violent anger. There are other words for anger that is subsumed, that is not displayed in physical, to me, the words wild and violent are very physical types of words that you wouldn't normally
right.
use if someone is just, oh, I'm so outraged, I'm not going back to church.
I wonder if if we knew more about the community, but using the
Mm.
word tranquil and then
Mhm.
using the word fury, you have
Yes,
these two opposite words.
right.
That really denotes, how old are the people in this community? It sounds like people have lived there for
Yeah,
generations.
they're mostly their older people.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And
And there were more comments, which you can read because we have
mhm,
the link to the article. It's still online and I've provided it. And one of the things that it says is that there was one woman who was a business owner, and she had sort of organized people and got petition signed by many residents of the village, to petition to stop the rendering. So she was someone who was well known, a businesswoman. It's a small place. They all know each other. And she was particularly vocal, and she got people to come to her side in terms of the petition. So that's one of the things. And the article itself states, no, you have to have something in there that says to look like a mosque, right? Because it's
yeah,
in quotes.
right.
The
Yeah.
article
So
states, one shocked resident exclaimed, it looks like a mosque.
Ah.
Okay.
But that's
not
not
surprised.
well noted in the headline. It's just, and of course, I don't know if I should assume or think or
Uh-huh.
that since this is a tourist, it's a national park, you have people, I would think, coming through, tourists,
Uh-huh.
coming through through the
Uh-huh.
village as well. And
Uh-huh.
if people are so furious, I mean, I would be interested in knowing why there wasn't more consultation done. And, weren't they more concerned that the building was going to, the tower was going to rot out? I mean, the whole thing was going
Uh-huh.
to fall down if it was, it was leaking water. What's the lack of communication? What's going on with that?
Mm.
If there was, you know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess we have one word against another because the
yeah,
vicar said they did have consultations,
right,
and
right,
he just based on what he said, he sounds like a reasonable man. He spoke well. He yeah, he sounded like, I don't know, if I was listening to him, just even without knowing who he was, just being a visitor, I would think, wow, this man seems really hurt, and it looks like he tried his best. He consulted all the
right,
right people and had many meetings. Um, but this one person made this statement about him, you know, that was, I don't know what you would call it. I would certainly feel really bad if someone said that to me.
right, right.
Um,
Have to
yeah.
wonder if he's still there or or did he leave?
I
You
don't know. I must do some more research and find out. So we have like two more slides. Let me go through and then we can have a conversation. Um, this is an exercise which I suggest if you don't have time, you may not have time. It may be good to do this as an additional exercise for the students to take home, maybe or in another class, to make up their own headline to accompany the image after hearing the facts about everything. They can read the whole article maybe and come up with their own headline. And you could assign them to write something that was factual and then also write something that was opinion and compare the two, you know. So what might you call this headline?
Hmm.
Well, if I were doing the factual headline, I would say city residents dispute with local what do you call them? Chaplain, something like
Vicar, yeah, vicar.
vicar, vicar over renovated tower.
Mhm. Okay,
I mean, just
that sounds factual, yeah.
seems like that's a summary, and that's yeah.
What
And
if you were on the side of the vicar? What kind of headline might you put up if you were on the side of the vicar and you thought that he was telling the truth and yeah, everything, you know, that the rest of the residents were just making a fuss?
A tower remediated um, for long-lasting preservation. I don't know, something like that.
Beautiful tower emerges.
Yeah.
Uh,
And maybe a little bit about the material or leaking water tower,
mhm,
desperately trying to find an answer, to
mhm,
how to solve the leaking water tower or
mhm,
new tower, something new to, renovated to, with the water so people
mhm.
understand. And it
Right,
could,
right.
consultants from all over the world, um,
Mm-hmm. Village challenges experts.
yeah.
yeah, right, good.
Something like that.
Quaint
Or
village. Quaint. No, that's not nice.
yeah, villagers it's a gang up on on Vicar.
Bunch of old
Yeah,
fogies
yeah,
gang up on young vicar who is trying to
yeah,
use technology
yeah.
to make this church more beautiful.
Right.
Oh wow. I wanted to say just to you now as media literacy educators that if you're using this, especially for people who are aspiring writers or journalists, you might want to have a conversation about how a journalistic article is supposed to be. Is a headline supposed to have so much opinion in it? Either way, whether you are on one side of the fence or the other concerning the content, is it not supposed to be, objective in certain ways,
Right.
especially the headline, you know?
Right. If not, it should have gone in the op-ed section of the,
Right.
Yeah, this
And
was news.
yeah,
This was
or the
supposed to be real
editorial.
news. And
Yeah.
and
it's
then
not, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Joseph.
oh, just and then I would have to denote like the headline that I spit out, if
Uh-huh.
you are working for a publication, would for the most part be rejected because that's not going to interest anybody.
Right. Yes, that's another thing. That's
Yeah.
another thing about how headlines come to be. Sometimes you give it one headline as a journalist and they give it another one, you
Editor.
know?
Yeah. An
If you're
editor.
Yeah.
if you're yeah if you're expected to be bringing in revenue to some sort of
Uh-huh.
publication,
Yeah.
you need to get an audience.
And this is a
Right.
pretty
Right.
major publishing house. It is not a scam article per se. Um, but I just found it amazing that when I read the article, I didn't see the fury at all. So here are some social media posts because things like that come online and people will repost it. What do you notice about these social media posts?
And these were from the village or in Brand?
No,
No.
no, no.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Well,
in
it's
some ways they lack for understanding of what was, what the vicar had explained about what was taking place with this building.
Mhm. Do you
Um,
think they read the article?
no,
no.
no. Oh God. Maybe only the headline.
Sounds like the headline.
It sounds like the headline, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the first one. This must stop now, not tomorrow, but now. Could use a little bit of punctuation there, but it's just they really it's lacking in really what was taking place and understanding of what
Mhm.
was going on there.
Uh-huh.
Gosh.
Nicole, can I ask you a question
Yes,
about how
yes.
you went about this? You said, were you looking for an article that you could use in this model, or did you just stumble across this and said,
I
"Hey, this would
stumbled
be a great
across
thing"?
this. I
Yeah.
stumbled across this. As I said, it was like in March, I think. There it is,
Yeah.
March. This is
March
March. So this
25th,
was shortly after it was published. These
right?
people may be regular readers of this publication. They're in the Britain.
Ah, they are.
Um,
Okay.
there's this group helping to put the great back, which is a group that is concerned with making Britain great again because is Great Britain. And so there is this group in Great Britain that is trying to help to put the great back. Um,
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting the idea.
Ay
okay,
vey. To put the great,
so
well, Great Britain is done. It's been done for a long time. I mean, powers pass on. They're not coming back. The US is finished as a power as well. It's just a matter of time. So, but
there's one more. What do you notice about this post? How is it similar to the first two? Or is it different? If it's different or similar, I don't know.
getting ready for the
The
switch. Oh, gee.
switch.
Oh, gee. Yeah, how do we? Yeah, what is, well, if you look at that to go with the mosque headline, but,
Yeah, right.
you
It's
know,
based in the xenophobia that I,
yes, yes.
sensed immediately.
Now, I don't know all these. I know the UK flag. I don't know the
Mm-hmm.
red and white flag. And of course, the
Mm.
guitar, I guess we take it to the 60s with the music. Now, is the Ukrainian flag blue and yellow?
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, that's
And
interesting.
yeah, and a piano. It looks like a piano
It
and
looks like a keyboard, yeah. I don't know what
keyboard.
that white thing is though.
Well,
Yeah,
it looks like a
a
rugby ball.
rugby. Oh, I
Rugby
don't know what
ball.
rugby
Oh,
looks
okay.
like. And then
And
I
you have
think those
a,
are just icons that he has on to show what kind of, person this person
he
is.
is,
and
yeah.
there's also a black belt karate outfit.
Oh, that's what that
Yes,
is. I didn't
yes.
know what
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
was. But we don't
So,
know the red and white flag.
there's a lot of stereotypes you could address to someone who does karate, rugby, and rock music.
Right,
Mhm.
You
right,
know,
true. But why the Ukrainian flag? Well,
yeah, that's the outlier. Yeah,
but that could be we're supporting a power that's being suffocated by
Mm.
right,
another a
right.
power.
Let me go
Russia,
back to look at the
yeah,
others. Hmm. Hmm.
God.
Well,
So
they're
now,
on different platforms. This looks
yeah,
like more like Facebook, doesn't it?
I
And
don't
this is
know.
X.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
I see.
X.
Oh, yeah, it says that right there.
Yeah.
Another reason to
Question.
the question, because this has become what X is for
Hmm.
missing, not reading headlines and and only responding to triggers of emotion, like racism and xenophobia.
But
Mhm. Oh, this
what
is
do you think
great.
about this exercise?
I I think you really latch on to something that could easily, a very simplistic exercise that could be replicated in many ways, and uh, you know the only note I would say is you titled it something about the church, but then they give something away. So when you
It
go look,
does, it does. I
yeah,
did think
mm,
about it afterwards,
yeah,
but I like the idea of the painted church as a title, but of course your students don't need to know that.
right. So, but maybe even
Yeah.
just be even more vague, like a changed building, or
Mhm.
but
Yeah. So it's not in there. This if you do it with your students, you don't there's no the painted church on the slides anywhere where they can
okay,
see it.
okay, I see.
Right.
On the first slide, it just says put your institution name and date here. If you wish to, you can put your own institution's name on
I
it
see. I
and
see.
brand it as your institution. So
I
yeah.
see. Um,
Of course, because you weren't actually students, I think I
yeah,
wasn't really being the teacher. I was more being like a
right,
colleague and talking to you,
right,
but
right. Yeah, I get it.
you get the
Yeah,
picture.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Wow.
was a good learning experience. Good.
yeah,
You have to think, taking things apart, relooking. There was a lot there.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
really like scaling it back to just think about it word for word is a great, the same type of things that needs to be done with visual images. Um, yeah, happen
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
sentence is a great exercise.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
it's got the picture part. You could just deal with the picture part if depending on the age of the students.
Yeah,
Um, and then the whole back part of it is, my students are adults. So I
yeah.
went that far into, the social media posts and everything, but depending on, as I said, the age of the students or how much, experience they've had with media literacy, teaching about that.
We live, especially compounded by the internet. We live in a passive viewer world at every age,
Right.
Mhm.
and so yeah, I think there's something in there for every age.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
I'd actually extended it a bit more, and I decided to take out some of it. So at the end, there was some more information about the publication, to show that, if you look up a publication like this, uh, you may find really interesting stuff in places that you would not think, this is not a fly-by-night operation. And, it makes me wonder about what other things this particular person had written and what other
Mm,
kinds of articles there are in
Yeah,
this publication.
yeah.
mm,
So
yeah. I agree. And of
luckily, I
course,
didn't find a lot of people reposting and posting it, it didn't go
mhm,
viral kind of thing. Which is probably good if it didn't, because then we would know about it and it wouldn't be such an interesting
No, right.
exercise.
That's what makes it unique. It's nobody
Mhm.
people don't know about it.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, this
So
was very good. This
All
was
right.
great. I'm glad
Thank you.
I came.
Yeah,
thank
thank you so
you. Thank
much.
you. Well,
Yes.
enjoy the rest of Media Literacy Week. I have an event I'm going
Thank
to
you.
tomorrow in New York, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, great. I wish I
What
could
are you
do
doing?
that.
I'm sorry, what are
It's
you
Um,
a
doing? I didn't.
2025 New York State Youth Media Arts Symposium.
Ah,
right.
So yeah, it's for educators, and I'm very interested, of course, in media arts. And
right,
Yeah.
right,
I hope they'll release some sort of recording from some of those.
right. I was going to ask you, is it online as well or no?
this one is in person. I don't know
Ah,
what they're going to
okay,
produce out of it, if
okay,
they may have something out of it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
All right.
All
Well,
right. Well, thanks
Nicholas
again.
and Joseph, it was so good being with you on
Good
this
seeing.
again. And this
Uh,
time we got into really good conversation.
yeah, well, they took
You know.
it's a group, it's conducive a group this size, but
Yeah.
Yes,
we'll
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
see you at the
Yeah.
next media
Yeah.
education lab
I have
event.